Kevin, I was telling my wife the other day, I'm pretty excited. You know, I'm a sports guy.
I do know you're a sports guy.
Got the Premier League is back. The NFL's just around the corner, which means then baseball playoffs are around the corner. It's a good time of year. I'm very excited. And you know why? Because Bet Online, that's right, my friend, the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything football.
That is correct. From the preseason NFL to college kickoff, BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played.
You think you know your stuff? Do you?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm talking to you. Whoever's listening, you know your stuff? Yeah, I want you to prove it. Get in on our winner-take-all $300,000 NFL Survivor Pool for the upcoming season. That's a lot of cheese, Packer fans.
A lot of cheese, if you buy cheese with it.
Yeah.
When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get it on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 game slots.
That's right. Head to the website today. Use the promo code BLEAV. That's BLEAV. And get in on the action.
BetOnline. The game starts here.
Right here. And on your TV. And probably on your phone. Or
Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for listening to the Dumb Dad Podcast. My name is Kevin, and I'm a dumb dad.
And my name is Evan, and I, too, am a dumb dad. And on today's episode, Kevin is going to try to convince us that communicating with your children is some sort of positive thing.
Yeah, never. And on this episode, Evan gives his son a little lip.
I'll accept that.
Cheers.
Cheers. It's good to see you again. How are you?
Not great.
Whoa.
Yeah, I just... Today was one of those days. It wasn't a bad day, but it put me in a grumpy mood.
Okay.
I mean, those just happen
Yeah.
as a parent, and it was all because I had something I had to do.
Diarrhea.
In the morning. No, not yet.
Let me get there.
Let me tell the story.
It's a long walk to diarrhea.
No, I had something I had to do this morning. So, you know, the kids, it's one of those things where everything that's good can also be bad. Like, other kids kind of slept in this morning, which is nice. Except now you're working at a deficit. Like, it is nice. I'm not ever going to complain. My kids aren't up at 6. You know, I had to, like, 7:10. I was like, guys, we got to get up.
That happened to me this morning, except for I was also in my bed at 7:10.
So
my wife was like,
hey. My wife was at the gym or something. Or maybe, I think she was at the gym. And I just, like, rolled over and I was like, oh, Kev. Oh, no.
Yeah. It's like the worst way to get woken up to. I don't care who you are. Kids, no kids, doesn't matter. If you're asleep and someone's like, get up right now. You're like, what?
Yeah, because then you have to, like, get them up. And now you're like, yeah, we all got to sleep. Great. Like, nobody went to bed late last night. It was just like, but then you're just starting at that mode. You're rushing them. But it's like, we don't have a choice. And
they don't understand that.
They don't understand that. They get
rushing for what?
Except that they're scared of being late.
My kids are also very scared of being late. However, it's also like they don't show that until we're in the car and we're almost late.
And then they have no ability to help you anymore.
Yeah, exactly. You know how this feeling could have been minimized would be if you put your shoes on.
Yeah.
When I told you to put them on when we were at the house 15 minutes ago.
Yeah. So then I dropped the kids off. We were supposed to record a podcast later in the morning, late morning, but I had something I had to do before then, and I had to drive there. And the way LA works,
you can say what I was. You had an audition. You can say that.
Yeah, it's not. Who cares?
Well, you have to. Who cares? You have to keep it a secret. I had a secret mission.
I had an errand to run, but I had to drive there. That took an hour to get there. The audition took 2 hours. Not auditioning. Yeah, that took 10 minutes.
Just hanging out. Yeah,
that took 10 minutes.
Yep. Yes.
And it was 2 hours I was there. Then it was an hour to get home. So that's 4 hours of my day just shot.
Yeah.
And today is, as we're recording Tuesday, short day.
Yeah, early dismissal. Right.
So I get home at 12:30, and I'm like, cool. I haven't eaten anything yet because I woke up late. It was like, get the kids out the door. All
Yep.
right, get ready, go to your audition.
Yep.
And then 4 hours later, come home. It's like, well, I got to eat something. And then I'll have 30 minutes
To yourself.
before I pick the kids up.
Yeah.
And all that's good and fine. I appreciate having an audition or whatever, but we had to cancel the podcast. That put me in such a bad mood. I just felt terrible because, as I talked about on last week's podcast, my daughter had to go to the hospital. She's fine now. Everything's great. But we had to cancel the podcast on that same person then, which was, of course, they were very understanding. And I'm sure they were understanding this time too. They seemed like in the email, but it was like...
Not the way she was talking to you when I was talking to her.
No.
A lot of stuff was actually kind of blamed on you.
Well, it was. And I felt it put me in such a bad mood. And that kind of just set me off on the whole day. It was just like that 4 hour, lost my whole day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mostly driving.
A lot. Yeah. Yeah. That's
Mostly
true.
driving.
We're not going to do the thing where the youngins looking for the next TV show live down in the city so they can walk to their audition. No. It takes a minute to drive all the way down.
We
there
have a
for us.
backyard.
Yeah, it's a choice. It's a choice. Yeah, I'm teasing you. Like it was a fine conversation because I got on with the lady, and we'll promote it too because I think they're actually going to do split it into two little posts. So we're going to turn it into two little podcast releases. So it was a nice chat. She's a pediatrician, so part of the moment was I couldn't get the mic to work somehow. Everything was plugged in as far as I knew correctly. We do this all the time, and I was like, I don't know why the computer's not showing the mic is here. So there was plenty of that was the kind of stuff where it was it's probably Kevin's fault. Not because of any other reason that you weren't there, obviously, but it was just but then I had a nice chat with her, and so it was all smooth. But she was like, I really do want to talk to both you guys. And I was like, by all means.
Yeah, I don't like, it's funny. I just really don't like, being late to things, or, making a promise to somebody and letting them down. I do it a lot, but I don't like it.
I don't like it. No, I know. Again, we talk about this. We're both such people pleasers that if I feel like I've even disappointed somebody in the most minor way, it eats at me.
So, so I was just in a bad mood, and then I went and picked up the kids, and then, we got home, and I was just irritable the whole day.
Yeah.
I was just just for the rest of the day, it was just I was just in a bad mood, and, hung out with my it's one of those things where my kids wanted to hang out with me, so I was doing that, but I'm also I got to do something today for me. I have to get something done for me today. Again, I've had an audition that was great, but it was I have other emails to send and do, and I have other things the house needs to there's just so many things. It was one of those moments where you're just so frustrated again at your kids, as well as yourself, and as well as just at the day. And it was just it just piled on so much. And my wife was my wife asked me, are you going to go to the gym? Because yesterday I took the kids to the YMCA and brought them into the child activity center, which we'd never done before. And I thought my daughter would hate it because she's 8. And I was she's going to be too old for this. And almost a dumb dad moment. I was yesterday, I was hey, you can't, she was going to bring a toy fan that she bought in little Tokyo. And I was don't bring that. They're going to have stuff there. And I also don't want there's going to be kids 6 months to your age. Somebody might just grab that, snap it in half. Don't bring that. So I had her bring nothing. And then as soon as we walked in the door, I was if I should have had her bring something. Just because I was this is a children's room. She is a child, but very different levels. Anyway, when I went and picked
they
them
do
up,
scoop it in. It's really, they lean towards, which is fine. It's more of a daycare.
Yes.
Than it is having an 8-year-old have fun there.
Having said that, that's why I was I was working out being well, there's my dumb dad moment for the week. As soon as I go back in, my daughter's going to be that was so boring. Yeah. There's nothing to do. No, I came in and there's 2 people that work there in that area. So one of them is handling the little kids, and the other one took all the older, more capable kids and had them do trickier arts and crafts stuff. And I was oh. And they were I walked in.
They got it handled.
And that happened yesterday and today. I walked in to go get them, and they went, what are you doing here? Go work out more. And I was oh.
You know you need it.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Don't look sweaty enough.
All right.
But so they did like it. But so I did go today. I went again today because I was I need to I just need some time to myself, and the kids enjoy it, so I'll go do that.
Yeah.
And then I brought them to that, and then after we had to go to Target to go grab something, not get a pickup. We had to go in a store, and I went with my 2 kids, and they were so amped up, and I was this level between wanting to explode and scream at them, and so broken that I was just gonna be that shell that doesn't say anything. That shell of a person that just like
You're just watching watching the dad with the 1,000-yard stare,
Yeah.
like pushing a cart behind the crate.
I was
like,
right in the pocket of both of those. Like I kept like
I think they weren't just being a dad.
They weren't
You're somewhere on that spectrum.
I really felt it today, and I was like, all right, I can talk about this on the podcast.
Yeah.
Not in that moment. In that moment, I was like, I wanted today to end. I just want to go to bed. Call it on today.
Yeah.
Today was an L.
Yeah.
And it was funny because they weren't even being that crazy at the store. They weren't like grabbing off the shelves and just chucking them. Like they were just having fun with each other. They were actually being wonderful with each other and playing, but it's so loud and a little too wild and like running out of aisles. And I was like, guys, you're gonna catch a cart in the hip. Like it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
But that's like kind of how I was talking to them. I was like, guys, it was that kind of like vibrating voice. He's not yelling.
Just no patience.
I was just done. I was so fried. And then we got to the checkout line, and and I was grabbing stuff, and I hadn't scanned it with the app, the Target app, so you can like see if there's a deal that you want.
Oh, you gotta scan it, man.
So I'm scanning stuff. My son keeps grabbing stuff out of there, and I had to be like, stop grabbing it. Stop grabbing it. Stop. And it just reminded me of the scene in Logan.
Yeah.
Where
the
little girl keeps punching him in the face in the car.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, don't hurt me. Like I was like, felt like I was right there. I've never laughed harder, by the way, than that scene in a movie.
Especially after being a dad.
Real. Yeah. It was such a
like,
real dad moment. Of like, God, you wish you could just guttural scream in a kid's face. Don't hit me.
Don't hit me.
But it was that moment. And then he just like, I've convinced him to stop grabbing stuff and just stop it. And he like eventually went up with his sister, and they were just like running in circles. They were so rabid. And the cashier was like, this young woman, and she was just like, how old? And I was like, he's 5.
39, Hobie.
And she goes,
40 in a month.
She goes, yeah, mine's about the same age. It's a lot like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah.
And immediately you felt better.
No, I wanted to go to bed.
Man.
It's just one of those days. It just weighs on you. You're just fried. There's no out. I'll be able to laugh about it somewhat.
I know what you're saying. It's like, it's, those are the days when you're a parent that's just like, this is the hard part of the job, when it's like, it just kind of didn't go my way. It's so funny. Like, because often we talk about perspective, right? Of like parenting perspective and like dad perspective, all these things. And like the perspective is somebody else, I'm not trying to do this to you, but like, somebody else wanted an audition today, didn't get one. You know, like, and it's hard to say like, well, their life's worse than mine, because and that's not really fair either. I'm not trying to do that, but like, try to put yourself in those perspectives. Like, it sucks that it took like 4 hours for all that to happen, but man, could be worth it, because that's the kind of thing. That's the kind of thing we talk. We talk about this. Like this. That's what this industry is. Like, if you have an audition, you have a chance. So many other people have a chance too, and if you're the one that's like, I have to drive all the way down. No, I'm not saying you're like this. You're never like this.
Sure.
It's all probably part of today. But I've had other people I know, they're actors or want to be actors. It's like, I hate that I have to drive down there. I hate that I drive and the audition's like 30 seconds. I hate that. It's like, then don't do it anymore, because that's kind of the job.
Sure.
You're a professional interviewer in a way. You know what I mean? And once in a while you get the job, and it's a day's work or more sometimes, but
yeah, but what I'm saying is, I'm not even talking about the perspective of that. I'm talking about just like some days as a parent, you lose the whole day and you don't have it to yourself. And I did. I did get to go to the gym. I got to give myself that time of the day, but I just felt behind. I felt like I let somebody down today. It was just like one hit after the other, and it was
gotcha. It started to pile on.
It piled on, and it was just like I know every parent has that day. where it's just like, man, it sucks that is like, this X, Y, and Z happened. And then there's just some days where it's like, yeah, that's parenting. That's why parenting's hard. Is there's just some days where stuff's gonna pile up, stuff's gonna go wrong. There is no solve to it. Life's not a TV show, and you just gotta wake up and do it again tomorrow.
I was talking to my son today. It was like very hot today. It was like about 100 degrees or whatever, especially about the time I picked him up from school. And on the drive home, my son's complaining how hot it was in the car. It's so hot. It's so hot. He was just like, wouldn't stop complaining about how hot it was. And I was like, here's the thing, bud. If you just sit back there and you complain about how hot you are and how awful it is to sit back there and the sun's hitting you right in the face and you're just like, it's going to feel worse. If you just try not to think about it and just accept the fact that it's warm in the car and we're on our way home, and that's what I can tell you. Like we will get there eventually.
Yeah.
And then he starts talking to his sister about, I'm diving into an ice bath, and then how crazy that would be. They're laughing about that. And it's like immediately just like trying to, it's like just flip your perspective or change your attitude. You can change your attitude. It's hard to do that when it just feels like, again, I got gut punched like 5-6 times in a row. It's like hard to be like, I can change my attitude. But it happened to me tonight as well. We, in the evenings, it's just been so hot. So in the evenings, we really look forward to the time in the evening when it's like about as cool as it is outside as it is inside, and we open the doors and windows and like get a nice breeze going, and like in the evening or whatever. That's been later and later and later this summer. Sometimes it's like 9 o'clock. It's like acceptable to finally get. It's 88 outside instead of whatever. It's like, and so, but having left the front door open a bunch. And the back door open with the screen door, it's like, we got to get a screen door on that front door somehow. So we've been looking up how to get how do we get like a invisible sort of screen door? We didn't want like another door there, right? We wanted one that like sort of slides back and forth, like kind of recoils into itself. So been looking finally found one. It's been like a couple months of like talking about it, picking the right one, finally going, okay, let's pull the trigger on this thing and get it, And it arrived today, so part of me was like, it's hot out. I knew we were podcasting tonight. So I didn't really feel like going and doing that. But it was like this huge box on the stoop.
Right.
So I was like, oh, I'll be happy when I'm done with it because then it will be done. And then we'll have it and it will be installed. And, I'm sure it's like going to the gym, right? I'll feel better once I go. I do not want to go. But I'll feel better when I go. So I start like putting this thing together, and it wasn't that difficult. It took me like 45 minutes. Finally get the whole thing installed. It glides over nice, clicks in. I was like, sweet. I do notice though, it's like at the top of the door, it's about a 2-inch gap from the top of this thing to the top of the door. Maybe not quite 2 inches, maybe more like 1.5 inches or so, something like that. Definitely is like short of the door frame. And I'm like, okay, I could probably take like a strip of screen and just place it up there so there's just not an open slot up there where flies can fly in that way or whatever, So I'm thinking, no big deal. I can put that up there coyly, and so that'll be something I'll do a year and a half from now.
Exactly.
And like, I'm like, I show my wife. I'm like, hey, it's done. We're installed. And I go like, I take her outside and I open the door and then I like shut the screen door. And I was like, there you go. And she looks up and she goes, uh-oh. And I was like, yeah, I know it's a little short, but there's a way to adjust the width of it. There's like 3 different sizes of doors you can buy, and you can adjust the width. And she's like, basically like immediately was like, all right. Oh, uh-oh. And then it's like, did you not measure the door correctly? And I was like, I measured the door correctly. Did you order the wrong size? And I'm like, I don't know. I like immediately got like in my head, like so defensive. Like I didn't want to install this thing. And then I just did because I'm sweating out there doing it. And then the first thing is like, did you do something wrong? And she's never like, I mean, my wife, she's not like hypercritical about stuff like that, but it's just kind of the wrong moment to say that.
Right.
Cause I was like, I don't know if I hope I didn't get it wrong. So now I'm going in the garage. I'm like, remeasure the door frame, go look at the order. And I did. I ordered the size that the door frame said it was. It was like 79 inches tall. Oh. And this one fits 78 to 79 inch door frames. And then the next one fits 80 to 81 inch door frames. And I was like, okay, now I remember measuring this thinking like, I'll tell you what I'm not going to do is order the thing that is 1/4 inch too tall and I can't make the adjustment. Yeah. So I'll order the shorter one.
Yeah.
So just a little disappointingly is it's like, I guess it does fit 78 to 79, but it's definitely a 78-inch version of this
Yeah.
thing. So you'll never see it. It'll just be like a little strip of something or whatever. But it was just like,
It's warm.
and then for about 10 minutes out there by myself, I'm like feeling a little defeated and disappointed that that's how that
Yeah.
went. Then I was like, or she was probably just asking me and not criticizing me or rubbing in the fact that
Sure.
it didn't fit. And so by the time I came in, I was like, let's not dwell on that for the rest of the day and like
Sure.
ruin my own day, you know?
Yeah.
So, but I feel bad for you because I know those days where it's just like, can I catch a break? You know, just feels like at least that's over and I can move on to the next part of my day. Oh, that didn't go well either. You know,
Yeah.
that's tough to
Yeah.
come back from that.
Sure is. Yeah.
You're down 38-0 in the fourth quarter. Your coach is like, let me see some heart out there. You're like, I want to go to bed.
Yeah. It's over. We lost.
We lost so long ago. Can you put in that guy? He doesn't get to play all season because we'd lose, but we're losing. So can
Let him play. Let him play.
Yeah.
Speaking of losing, let's go into dumb dad moments.
Let's get into him. Let's dive right into him.
Mine is brought to you by Pickup. So we have a new pickup spot at my kid's school,
Yeah.
which is better for traffic. And there's a pickup line now, which we didn't used to have. It was just chaos in the front of our school.
You guys just have one at the school, right?
We just have, no, I guess we do have two.
Okay.
Because we have we have the TK drop off and then the rest all go to the other gate. So both my kids now go to their gate at pickup. Kinder and TK all come out of that first gate and then everyone else out of the second. So we have to do two gates for pickup. So so every morning now we have to like walk and just go all the way to this long gate, drop the kids off. It's great. So the first day we have, we pick up my son at the first gate, go to the second gate, and one of the administrators is like, why don't you just have your daughter go to the first gate? It's less of a walk. You can pick both your kids up there. I was like, great, let's do that. That sounds great. So we tell my daughter, hey, just so you know, you're going to come out of this gate from now. And she's like, great, no problem. So then cut to, the next day. I think that was like on a Thursday or something. So like on Friday, she comes up the gate and she goes, I don't want to come out of this gate. And I was like, well, you should.
I know. I totally understand that. You are going to.
And it was just one of those like, you're not hanging out with your friends. I'm there always, at the time of pickup. So you walk up with the class and they hand you off. It's not like this, you're waiting around for 5 minutes with your friends whose parents are always late. Like, no, none of that happens. Their parents are there too. Like, it's just like, you get there and you go. It's time to go home.
Yeah.
So I was like, no, just come out the gate. And then she did. And then she complained about it again. So then my wife was like, it's just an extra 50 feet for us. And I was like, okay, fine. But we never really cleared it with her. And then so she came out the same gate again. And then we were like, oh, that was dumb. And then we talked to her and we were like, oh, you came out this gate? And she was like, yeah, I wasn't sure which one to come through. And this is the dumb dad, dumb mom moment, is like, we didn't clear it with her again. We just went, oh. And then we went home. And then the next day at pickup, it was just one of those like, damn it. I don't know where she's coming. Had no idea.
At least it's 50 feet's not a big deal at all. You can still see her.
It's probably more than 50 feet.
Oh, okay.
It's probably 100 to 200 feet.
Yeah, we have 5 pickup gates. And last year, it's like first year we were told to come up one gate and then they switched it, but that's like around the corner down the street.
Yeah.
So that's where I thought you were going. I was like, then you're kind of like,
it's down
they're
the
not
street.
going to send her out. They don't send her out unless you show the parents.
Yes. It's probably like 200 feet. You can't see them. You see the children in the distance. You're like, it's one of those. Mom.
Yeah, exactly.
But it was far enough away that, then it was yesterday that I was like, I don't know where she's coming from at all. So I was just like, well,
Look at the drone out.
luckily I had an out that helped my dumb dad moment, which was my brother was there picking up his son who goes to the same school. So when we got our kids, I was like, do you mind hanging out here and seeing if she shows up? And he's like, absolutely. So then I walked down and I waited, and her teacher, it didn't help that her teacher's classroom, I don't know if the teacher teaches the last second or their classroom's really far away from like where the gate is. They're always like the last class to show up too. So it's just like this thing of like checking your phone, looking for a text from my brother over and over again, looking up, checking the text.
The class came, she's not here. Yeah. She's not with you. Like, oh, great. Now what's happening?
Yeah. I thought you said The Office. So she did come through my gate, and I was like, so you know to come through this gate? And she's like, yeah, we talked about it. And I was like, kind of didn't. But we are talking about it now, and that's what's important. So we solved it.
Third time's a charm, although it's the first time.
Yeah.
But it's a third opportunity.
But it was just funny how we just, oh, you came through this gate. Yeah, we just didn't really, I didn't know which one. We didn't really decide. And I was like, huh.
Yeah. Oh.
Could have cleared it up right there.
Yeah, right. Yeah. just end of conversation. We're walking on now.
Anyway, how was school? So that's that moment.
That's fantastic. My dumb dad moment this week is brought to you by Horsing Around.
Okay.
Do you horse around with your kids in public? Do you kind of like do the thing when you're at the store or somewhere and you kind of like elbow and like a little joke to the kid? Do you do stuff like that?
I don't know what you mean, elbow. Like,
you know, like rather than make a big presentational joke to both of them, you kind of like nudge your, oldest man, like, look at that guy's shoes, or I don't know, something like that.
Sure.
Where something's kind of funny, and you're like, check that out, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So you do that once in a while with your kids. You kind of then you develop that like funny little relationship you get to have together and everything.
Like you just asked, do I have fun with my children in public? Essentially, what you just asked.
Or do
you ever enjoy your time?
Or are you like a robot? Do you even care about anything?
All the same as Target today.
He's just a 1,000-yard stare guy all the time. And I don't even remember where we were, but I was like, all four of us were together. I think we were at the mall on the weekend, all four of us. And it was like, we're on like the escalator or something, where it's just like nothing's happening for 30 seconds or whatever.
Yeah.
And my son's standing next to me. And I did the very classic joke. What's all over your shirt? And he looks down and I go to like lift my finger up. But I caught him in the lip, and he just got braces, and he just like cut the inside of his lip.
Oh God!
Yeah, I was like, I felt so dumb and bad that I was like just trying to tease him, like make a joke and make him laugh. But he's like, "Oh, Dad!" He like brings both his hands, and he's like, "My lip," and he like folds it open, and it's like bleeding on the inside of his lip. And I was like, "Sorry, I just was trying to be funny." It's like I couldn't do it or say anything that
Did
helped.
he get any on his shirt?
No.
That's a shame.
It wasn't like
because that would have been
I know
a good answer.
It wasn't awful like that, but it was definitely like he flipped it forward and was like, "Oh yeah, you got kind of nicked you there. Sorry about that. Just trying to make you laugh, and you're crying."
I'm crying, and
I feel really stupid that I don't know why I did that. I'm sorry. That was, you know what I mean? Like I can't say anything.
Yeah, it's just.
I was trying to be silly, make you laugh, and it backfired.
Fun dad.
Yeah, fun. Yeah, the fun dad. Whoops.
Fun dad
Not
comes
so much.
out.
Not so much.
Someone was going down the other side of the escalator going, oh my God.
Like, really? That thing? You're doing that? Something on your shirt?
Yeah.
Has he got a quarter in his ear too?
Watch out, he's going to steal your nose. Good Lord. Who are you? Just yelling as you're like far away.
Yeah.
While we're here, we should get an extra pair of socks in case I get a hole in one. At the golf course.
Oh, good Lord. I know. Yeah. Embarrassing.
Oh, it's embarrassing. Guys, if you have your dumb parent moments, you guys can email us, dumbdadpod@gmail.com, or you can DM us. We are at the Dumb Dads on Instagram. That's our handle on all social media, including YouTube, where you can watch full episodes of this very podcast. Please rate and review this podcast. And if you do, we might read your review on this podcast like I'm gonna do right
like
now.
This one right now, sent from
Emmer the Victorious.
Emmer the Victorious. Thank you for sending
Thanks
a
for sending
review
this in.
and rating the podcast.
Funny, down to earth, and relatable. 5 stars. I just love listening to the Dumb Dads. It's refreshing and realistic and downright funny. The escapades of being a dumb parent are refreshing. It's nice to hear that we are all a little stupid, and that's okay. It's so much better than another self-help program where you are being pushed to an unrealistic standard. Wish I could make it to the live show. Have fun. Oh, this is before our live shows. This review. Thank you so much.
That's all good. We're already talking about trying to go to different cities.
Talking
so
about another one. We're working on our East Coast tour right now.
If we do get a chance to go out on tour again, we might mention it to you. We might bring it up.
We might be just as annoying as last time.
That's probably more the case.
Thanks for writing that review, Amber the Victorious. Thanks to Ed for doing SoundCloud for the music of this podcast. And thanks, as always, to my incredible wife, Annie, for editing this podcast. Evan, do you have a joke?
I had a joke. Ready? Here it goes. How did the cheese get hurt at school?
How did the cheese get hurt at school?
Yeah.
Got a bad grade?
Man, I was graded too hard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Close. Yeah. Close. But no cigar.
Nope. Okay.
No cigar for you, Kevin. You don't get a cigar.
I don't want the bad for you.
Smell good. Okay. Bye.
Bye. Welcome to the world, little one. Welcome to life.
How do I stop this?
The Dumb Dad Podcast is proudly presented by Bet Online.